But why she do that? I would never. That could never be me. God will never forgive you for that. Attention, she look. Then she couldn't talk to somebody. These are some of the most common comments that people make when they hear of someone unaliving themselves or taking their own 3 points. People, welcome back to the channel. And today's topic will be a very touchy one. One that most people will find disturbing. But this has been popping up quite often lately on the Jamaican media sources where we hear of people taking their own 3 points. And if you're not familiar with the term, taking their own 3 points, it simply means putting an end to someone's own 3 points. Get it? YouTube does not like this kind of topic anyway. So in this video, we want to look at 10 of the most common reasons why people are unaliving themselves or taking their own 3 points in Jamaica. At the end of the video, I will also tell you what could possibly drive me or cause me to even consider doing anything of this sort. Now, I'm not here to judge anyone, especially if I did not endure what this person or the persons who we hear of endured, or if I am not in the frame of mind that they are in or they were in at the time of their decision. My disclaimer here, I am not a qualified psychologist or psychiatrist. So if you are considering or you know someone who is considering this as a solution to their mental health or whatever dilemma they are facing, then please direct them to the Jamaica Suicide and Mental Health Hotlines. Phone number 888-639-5433. I will also provide a link in the description of the video where you can get in contact with someone who is qualified to assist, or someone will reach out to you with the help that you may need or you are seeking. Now let's get into the video. It can be quite difficult for people to understand why someone would want to harm themselves. Matter of fact, the mere thought of self-harm is becoming one of the leading causes of mortality in Jamaica, and studies show that males are more likely to engage in this practice more than females. Most alarming though is the fact that some of the victims are quite young, with their entire lives ahead of them. Listen, mental health and depression are real issues, and if you are not in the same frame of mind or mental condition as the person that chose to end their 3 points, you will not totally understand the reason why a person elect to do so. It's never fair to judge someone and say, I would never do this or I would never do that, because you don't know what a person is going through at the time. So here are my list of top 10 reasons why someone would consider ending their own 3 points. The loss of a loved one. Now, someone going through this traumatic event, especially if the loved one is a very close relative, a child, a mother, a father, based on the relationship that they had, this can be very devastating for the average person, and it depends on the state of mind that a person was in at the time of this loss, could significantly alter or determine their mindset. This is a very common reason why some people would even consider this. Number 2, bullying, discrimination, or abuse. This is a common reason among especially young people or spouses who are in abusive relationships, or children attending school in an abusive or bullied environment. Discrimination. This is something mostly back in the days, even though it still happens. Discrimination by sexuality, sexual preference, or race. Number 3, the end of a relationship. Again, it's really difficult to understand the frame of mind a person has to be in to harm themselves, especially for relationship reasons. While you may not do such a thing, but on the other hand, the person that experienced this situation will react differently, especially if they were going through a lot in leading up to whatever it is that they encountered. Number 4, a major change in life circumstances such as divorce, unemployment, retirement, or homelessness, and problems with money. Now, to understand this, you have to understand the levels of depression that can affect someone, especially after losing their source of income or a change in lifestyle. Now, imagine someone in a wealthy environment, living in a luxurious house, driving a fancy car, big car, and they were supposed to lose all of this. There's not a lot of people who would be able to lose all of this and continue to live a comfortable life in a comfortable mindset. This would severely affect a lot of people. This could lead to a severe mental breakdown in a lot of people, which would eventually lead to self-harm. A good example of this would be the Finsack situation in the 90s, where several people lost their homes and motor vehicles due to the financial breakdown in Jamaica. And it's reported that quite a few of them took their own 3 points. If something similar like that happened to a lot of people, we can understand how that can severely impact them. Now, the average person would be able to overcome something like this, especially if you were a humble individual. But if you were, let's say you were a cocky person and you were used to living this kind of lifestyle, you jump in your big Prado, you go to Mega Mart, and especially if you were not humble and you were condescending to poor people or people who you think are below you. If you were to lose that Prado and that house and you were to live in a more humble situation, especially as a woman, a lot of people would not be able to live that one out. And that is what happened to a lot of people in the Finsack situation. We'll delve deeper into the Finsack situation in another video, and we'll go into this keeping up with this Jones mentality, which is what severely caused some people to end up in that situation. Number 5, receiving a diagnosis of a life-changing illness. Now imagine if you were supposed to get diagnosed with a disease that you know will eventually end your life, and you would be in a lifetime situation of pain and endearment. Not many people would be happy to continue living knowing that their life situation will not improve. It will only deteriorate from here. Number 6, being in prison. This is very common. That's why in the penal system, normally new inmates are normally put on a watch, and they are technically the corrections officer make it their point of duty to reduce the risk of inmates taking their own 3 points by removing shoelaces, belts, and stuff like that. Number 7, pregnancy or pregnancy loss. Some mothers go through severe traumatic breakdown after losing, especially after losing a child. Number 8, questioning one's sexual or gender identity in an environment that is not accepting of this.
Brother,
Well, in today's society, I don't think anyone is questioning anyone's sexuality anymore. The LGBTQTRSTUVXYZ community is becoming more popular and acceptable worldwide. Even in Jamaica here, they're walking around quite comfortable, so I'm not sure where this one comes from, but it's also a very popular reason. I guess back in the days, not sure about now. Everybody is out and about strutting their stuff nowadays, so but it could be. Number 9, certain cultural practices such as forced marriage. Again, not popular in Jamaica, but I can see this happening in the Indian communities. I'm not sure if the Indian communities in Jamaica have this, but it's very popular in India, and I know it used to happen in the Indian families in Trinidad. Not sure if this practice is still carried on. I haven't heard of it in Jamaica personally, but it could be a thing here as well. We have large Indian families, Indian Pakistan families as well, and we have a big Indian community here in Jamaica. People call them coolie, but of course it's Indian, so of course they would have brought their Indian tradition with them. Number 10, surviving a traumatic event. No. This is very broad, and a number of things that can have a severe impact on a person's life that they do not wish to carry on. A traumatic event could be big R word, gang bang, incest, stuff like that, where a family member do something to you that you can't outlive. Imagine that. Loss of limb, stuff like that. Big trauma in your life. Those are the top 10 reasons why it is said that people try to end their life. Among other things, a person contemplating suicide may feel sadness or grief, shame, worthlessness, intense guilt, rage, or a desire to seek revenge. That they are a burden to others, that they have no worth or value, that life is not worth living, that they are trapped either physically or emotionally, that things will never ever get better, and intense physical or emotional pain. And as I stated earlier, if you are going through, or you know someone who is going through serious depression, it is best for you to contact the Jamaica Suicide and Mental Health hotlines, 888-639-5433. A link will be provided in the description of the video. Now to my reasons why, if any one of these 3 reasons ever happened to me, I would definitely consider some form of escape. Yeah. Now here are my 3 reasons. If I ever get bitten by zombies or vampires, you might laugh, but I know these things are not quite real, but a lot of people keep talking about a great apocalypse, and if this were to happen and if that were to happen, let's say 0.001 chance in a million it does happen, the world gets taken over by zombies, and I get bitten by one of these zombies, and I have to walk around like a zombie. I don't think I would want to outlive that one. Number 2, if slavery ever becomes a thing again, I don't see myself being a slave. Yeah, I don't see myself being in slavery, any way or form. And modern day, they're talking about human trafficking. If I ever get in that situation, I'm not sure I want to live out that one. Number 3, if I ever get raped, gang bang, or any such event. Well, if I get raped by a woman or gang raped by a woman, then I could live with that. But I am 100% sure I would not be comfortable living, or the person who did that to me would not be among the living either. Yeah, I'm 100% sure. Anybody who ever consider doing that, and I end up being alive after such an event, and you know what? Let us just drop it right here. Thank you for checking out the video, and be sure to subscribe for more crazy video topics like these. Peace out.